60 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You have 60 seconds to comply. This is minute 12. Part man,
Part machine.
or pod.
This minute begins with Dick saying, do what he says, Mr. Kinney. Or it's more like what he says. And ends with the old man looking thoroughly disappointed.
He has that parent look. It's just like, oh, Dick. He's not pissed off at the ruined carpet. He's just like, you disappoint me.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
And we are once again joined by Luke Milton of the Dungeons and Drongos podcast. I got it right?
Yeah, well, my reputation precedes me.
You sound thrilled to be here.
I am, you guys! Robocop! Pew, pew, pew! He's half robot, half cop.
Yeah. All cock.
His mother was a robot, his father was a cop. Love it!
Yeah. That's exactly it! You've watched this movie.
Yeah.
I did bring up in a previous minute, there is a thing called teledildonics where people can actually fuck machines, but that's beside the point.
I already told you about the Transformers erotica. Yes, we know these things happen.
Oh shit! What are we gonna do now?
If you guys want a thrill, look up videos of dragons having sex with cars.
Oh yes,
Yeah, I've seen some of those. They're funny.
Truly, more than meets the eye.
Yeah, what freaked me out is when the Transformers logo spin became halfway through one of those videos. It was just a bit off-putting. And on that crappy transition, this is
Da-na-na-na-na. Yeah, now we've actually moved into the scene. I have been doing that in my head where I sing, "Who gives a fuck?" And that's how I just move from one task in my life to the next.
So, let's just face it. This entire minute could be condensed down to one phrase. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. You bastards.
Yes, we've been waiting. Oh my god, you killed Kenny. Now we got it out of a system. I just feel like, we could wrap it up. So subscribe.
Oh,
Patreon,
excellent.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, pleasure.
So, we've established that Luke and myself saw this, well, not necessarily as the youngest of children, but definitely younger than we should have. This is one of those things where it kind of just cements itself in your brain, and you either kind of look away in disgust or kind of just go, whoa, that's the fucking gnarliest shit I've seen.
It's so over the top. It's just unrelenting.
Yes.
In especially audio design.
I believe I rubbed my young eyes and said, "Whoa, dude, cowabunga." That is radical.
Well, it was the late 80s, you know. This is the year of Bill and Ted and the surfer culture, and we're all in our board shorts.
Do you think there is symbolism of Kinney dying on top of the little miniature diorama thing?
Yes, there is symbolism in this. I brought it up in previous minutes. There was the second AD named Monty Hellman. He actually directed this scene. This is not directed by Paul Verhoeven. I've not got any proof of this, but that's why I believe he also directed the end scene with the confrontation between RoboCop and Dick Jones, because that would have shot all this in the bracket. Probably shot all the OCP stuff with the damaged RoboCop suit and all that at the same time. However, Hellman actually set up this shot, so when the scene, he would have landed on the thing, and it'd be a very symbolic thing to Delta City. And there apparently was a shot missing where, when everyone cleared out of the boardroom, which will be in the next minute, but fuck it, I'll talk about it now, Kenny would still be there, and it would just linger, and you just see all this blood dripping down from the Delta City model.
Yeah, I felt like that's what it needed, like an overhead shot looking down at him, and in that sort of...
It was shot. It got cut.
That would have been great.
But beyond that, isn't it just this great economic bit of design? Because you're in a pretty sparse boardroom here. It's windows on one side, TVs on the other side. But by having that city model, we bridge the gap and imagine that we're high up in a building with that city out the window.
Yeah.
So, they get all of that just with this little model in the corner.
Exactly.
But this was a real location, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a real scene in a real office building. I think they were... In the movie, they're 40 stories up, but I think only in the movie they're about less than 10. So the skyline was real.
Yeah, so everything out the windows, is that really there? Or...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've been looking closely, and it looks like the light or the sun is in a consistent spot throughout. But except the shots with the old man, sometimes that looks like it's closer to sunset.
Well, that's just production, they shoot. If you've got a good production manager and a good shot list, you shoot all your setups in one shot, then you move to the next, move to the next, move to the next, and pickups will typically be done last. Especially if they're like chasing light. If you got a scene of an old man in a boardroom, you're probably not worrying about too much about the background light. You're worrying too much about the fill-in light and the spotlighting, the backlighting, and stuff like that. But
these are great tips because I'm just about to go and make my own RoboCop.
exactly,
We could probably do it better than the remake.
this is what several years of university will get you. Lighting.
So, do you think there was a way for Kinney to have survived this? Because the Ed 209 does not shoot when he's using human shields. When he is amongst a crowd, it's sort of looking, it's watching, it's looking for an opportunity, but it's not firing.
Well,
so I'm wondering if...
He needed to attach himself to Dick.
Yeah, exactly. Like an anglerfish.
I love how people are pushing him out of the way.
Or really, he should have just been in Ed 209's blind spot, which is between his legs.
Yes! He should have just crawled underneath there. Well, that's the funny thing. You look at the two gun placements. There's no way that from that distance, they would have been able to triangulate in. But that's a conceit. We don't care.
But, of course, would the movie have been better if Kenny had survived? No.
No, it's just a fun hypothetical.
Kenny needed to die so that RoboCop could live.
Yes.
Kenny died for our sins.
He died for us.
And that's that's like, how could Kenny survive? It's easy. They turn him into RoboCop, but then we would just have Robo OCP board executive.
Yeah, that would suck.
I'd probably watch that.
So when Ed powers down, is that a Star Wars sound?
It sounds like the hyperdrive shutting down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the sound effect in Empire Strikes Back?
I don't know, is Ben Burt on this movie?
No, but Irvin Kershner did direct RoboCop 2.
Yeah. So you think
it is-
he took some files home with him? Some sound files?
Even though he didn't get to direct the movie until the next one, you know what it is? It's probably just a sound library. Actually, I'm going to look that up now because I do have the IMDb up, and I want to see who the sound is done by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May as well.
Well, while you do that, I want to talk about, last minute, we talked about just the... this is where it's weird because they're all frightened of these big guns in Ed 209, but at the same time, they have the most casual reaction to potential gun violence in the sense that Dick Jones pulls out this huge Desert Eagle
Oh yeah, well it's America. That's just how that works, right?
and starts waving it around. But you notice when Kenny throws it, he throws at this gun and it hits the ground pointing directly at Dick Jones.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the special effects because I was just reading through Sound of Iron. I can't see Ben Burt, but special effects uncredited Jamie Heineman of MythBusters.
Good thing we looked that up. Small world.
Holy shit! I never would have looked at that. No, I completely agree. Because here's the thing: is they're probably going, "There's no bullets in that gun. Why would anyone have a loaded gun in an office building?" They're probably thinking the same thing about a 209 to a certain degree, and then probably when it's like, oh no, this robot is set to murder.
So I'm still thinking about how the gun landed. Do you think they did more than one take, or was it just a lucky coincidence, or were they going for that? I'd love to know.
Oh, I think it's just a coincidence. I just think that's how it landed. But I think it's so funny because if it was loaded, it could have shot Dick Jones in the dick.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe it's a cut scene. We have because there is apparently an MPAA uncut version of this floating around somewhere. I think it's just the dick getting shot in the dick cut that took it over the edge.
Yeah, just that one step too far. And everyone's response to seeing this dude get straight up murdered, I think, is pretty calm. All things.
Somebody calls for a magic. I think it might be Don Johnson.
Yeah, Don Johnson, he starts calling 911, and he's like, don't touch the body. Why? He's already dead, Jim. He's not coming back.
Oh, maybe he didn't. Maybe he was completely alive except for that last bullet wound that went through him.
Yeah, he just needed one more to the head, and that would have been the end of him. He's fine right now.
considering how fucked up Murphy gets, like, a few minutes later, and survived long enough to be put into a robot body, yeah, maybe Kinney could have survived because his head is intact as far as I can recall.
Oh, but he'd be a dipshit RoboCop, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that, though. Just a really shit RoboCop.
Robo Kenny.
Oh, jeez, Dick, I don't know, man.
Well, you've seen it, 2014, Robot Kinnaman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have, actually. We know what a shit RoboCop looks like. I love that the scientists, they're all they're opening up the little control panel and saying, oh, fuck, we'll just pull the plug. This thing's not plugged into anything. How do they think that they're going to stop it?
I guess that's what the whole point is, like, this thing is supposed to be running autonomously, and obviously that technically is working, just not with the intended consequence.
Last time we talked about the crow statue, which sort of hovers over the old man as he, like a hawk, watches everything. The other statue keeps popping up, looks like a scythe almost.
Yeah.
I don't recall that.
An omen of death.
Oh, yeah, true. And where they're positioned in the room, that makes a lot of sense, too, where all the actions happen respectively.
So I was just opening up a note on Ed 209 and
One guy takes a sip of water. I just noticed that in the last few seconds. After Kinney's killed, he runs over and looks at Kinney, and he's like, I'm dusty.
I love how the reaction for Dick Jones and the old man is simply, fuck, we failed at the project. No, we don't care about the human life, and I'd even have to say, even Bob Morton does not give a fuck. He just sees this as an opportunity to get in with the old man. Like, hey, this guy fucked up, give me a chance. The old point of Ed 209 is supposed to be urban one of those words I can never pronounce.
Pacification.
Thank you. And as this wiki loves to point out, it can't even climb stairs.
So efficient. So worth the money.
I love Ed 209. He's so absurd.
A tank can't climb stairs.
A small enough tank could. It's got treads.
Not with that attitude.
He just bulldozes into the house.
Yeah, Daleks can't climb stairs.
You notice I'm scanning through the clip now, and if you go to like 46 seconds, there's this old lady in the corner. She's on the left of the old man, and she like stands up and she like reels down. Her head nearly hits the desk. I don't think she knew what movie she was in. She like heads off into the corner like she's gonna vomit. I think like she was totally surprised by all this.
Yeah, she thinks they've actually shot a man to death.
I think she's like the old man's real life wife and was just visiting him on set. Oh, do you want to be in this scene? What the fuck?
Movie magic.
So many squibs.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as well. And the girl next to Bob Morton going for the, oh my god, the clutch in the arms stereotype.
Taking opportunity. Obviously, she loves a little bit of Bob Morton. Wants a bit more of that.
I forgot that Johnson's under the desk.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Johnson gets more of a character in the second movie, but it's good to see the genesis of that in this one.
Johnson Origins.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get him in the Dick Jones prequel movie.
The old man's got a big fat ashtray in front of him too.
Yeah.
Like that's almost like a bedpan.
It's funny when you mention it. There's hardly any for an 80s film. There's hardly any smoking in it.
True.
I know. What's his face? Squishy guy smokes at the petrol station, and that becomes a huge explosion later.
Ah, yes, pretty melty man.
You think of so many of these especially cop films of the era, like, everyone's smoking and it's hard grizzled and no.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised, and I didn't notice until now, but yeah, that's unusual. I mean, look at Ghostbusters, that's got all the smoking. Yeah,
they actually had to cut it out for Ghostbusters too because they wanted to make it more kid-friendly. They basically wanted to make a live-action version of the real Ghostbusters.
Oh, right. And
that's why Dan Aykroyd, he insisted on having a cigar, but he couldn't smoke a cigarette. Also, ironically enough, that's the reason why Ernie Hudson had to shave off his mustache.
Huh. Shame.
Yeah.
He looks weird without it.
Why? Because how does that make it more kid-friendly?
Oh, because he looks like his character in the animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I'm not joking. The producers basically said, you got to shave your mustache because you have to look like your cartoon version of you.
And Harold Ramis, you need to bleach blonde your hair and
Yes.
grow the biggest rat's tail.
Yeah!
And then the front of your hair, I want you to just coil that up into a big old burrito.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fucking hell. So I love AI. I love trying to think about, the logic of AI in movies, and I'd love to know what went wrong with Ed 209 specifically here. Did it just decide, oh well, this person was using a gun, but even though they've put down that weapon, they could still be dangerous, or is it making its own decisions here as it become conscious already?
I would just imagine it was literally, corporate budgetary constraints that they were about to put the patch release of, person is disarmed, therefore don't kill them, and then we're just like, no, we'll do that in the next patch release.
Can I suggest something?
Go ahead.
He doesn't have eyes.
Yes!
Obviously.
He has no way of knowing that the guy's thrown the gun down.
Yeah. I love the idea of the engineers being like, okay, now, Mr. Jones, whatever you do not point any kind of weapon at Ed 209. We are not ready yet. We have not done that patch. Just please, you can bring it out. You can walk around. It's fine. And what does he do? Yeah, brings out the gun.
And Dick's just there going, so what have you loaded up in the guns? Well, nothing, sir. This is a demonstration. This is a test platform. No, you got to put live rounds in there. But why? I'm the boss. You put fucking live rounds in there. It's not like he's going to shoot anyone.
I can absolutely see that going down.
And as well, there's no... it's not just that he's this new thing that they can use, but surely it's suddenly a whole new way of policing. In the sense that we're just going to, from now on, we're going to make our job easier. We give everyone 20 seconds, or then we just murder them.
Yeah.
It's very efficient.
That sounds like American corporate mentality. And hell, that sounds like modern-day corporate mentality as well.
Is there occupational health and safety in the future?
Well, it's Judge Dredd, essentially, suddenly.
Yeah.
This movie was inspired by Judge Dredd, so the connection makes a lot of sense.
I'm sure IDW or Dark Horse, whoever the hell it is that has the license now, they've put those two together.
What, for RoboCop?
Yeah, RoboCop and Judge Dredd, I'm sure there's a
comic.
Yeah.
I've not heard of a new RoboCop comic in a while, but Dark Horse used to have it. I don't know if it... And of course, Judge Dredd is 2000 AD. But I would love to see that crossover. Oh man, we need to write the Judge Dredd RoboCop crossover.
Doesn't exist. That's another fan fiction for my list, I guess. It has not happened officially, but there's a lot of fan made stuff.
Because I think RoboCop versus Terminator is the only crossover I can think of, unless someone can correct me on that.
Oh, with RoboCop?
Yeah, there's RoboCop versus Terminator.
That's crazy how big that thing was for a time, because there was there was the comic books, there was the video games. They were talking about doing a movie about it at one point. Looking back, it's like, wow, I'm kind of glad they didn't, because this is just chock full of just Frank Miller craziness. I kind of wish I lived in the universe that I'd see, so I could see and go, wow, that was probably a bad idea.
I'm seeing some fan art here, but I'm not sure if Judge Dredd and RoboCop are fighting or fucking. It could go either way. Thank you, DeviantArt.
The long hard arm of the... Nah, fuck it. I'm tired.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know.
We keep devolving into Rule 34.
Why do I make this podcast so dirty? It's me every single time. I'm sorry.
No, it's the internet. It's the internet.
It's the internet. Yeah, I'm gonna blame that because
every single time I go, did they make a crossover between RoboCop and Next? Like, oh yes, they did. It's called Rule 34.
I'm very well behaved on my own podcasts, so I don't know.
Let's face it, boys and girls. If I wanted to cut it out, you wouldn't be listening to this.
I add the spice. I add the spicy meatball. The meme ball.
I don't want to know about the robotic lubricant.
Don't you
though? So what's the show about?
I don't know anymore. I was going to say the audio commentary. Ed Neumeier actually talks about how, because we are having a laugh. He actually talks about when him and Michael Miner were working on this. Every single time you tell people the title RoboCop, they laughed in their faces, and they were a little bit embarrassed about this until they got the movie made, and then all of a sudden, RoboCop being the title of the movie became part of the joke, and it actually aided people in watching this movie. I think the subversiveness of that is actually one of the charms of this film.
Yeah, because you do go in thinking, oh, this is going to be dumb as shit, and you're like, this is actually really smart.
Yeah.
I think nowadays we just let anything go. It's fine. RoboCop, the movie, sure, I'll watch that. Anything goes now.
Kung Fu Panda? What?
Exactly.
A talking dog? I think they've made a few of those movies now, talking dogs. Oh, Jesus.
What was it, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Yeah, sure.
Well, I think there's this trend in Hollywood. It's definitely the DreamWorks method, which is essentially a crazy title, crazy location, and you usually get greenlit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like, DreamWorks spec scripts that didn't exist.
Hotel Transylvania. There you go.
Yeah.
That's Sony, but you know what I mean.
It's amazing how sometimes these movies can just be made just from, like, I'm just telling you the most weirdest fucking thing ever. Then again, we also live in the universe that has snakes on a plane.
I'm trying to think of other movies with weird titles from the 80s, but no, they're all pretty tame.
I don't know, because you see, you have a lot of schlock in the 80s. You've got a lot of, like, direct-to-video kind of movies. Like, this is the era of... the slasher horror genres where, you have Chopping Mall and all the other...
Oh, true, yeah, those sort of ones. But those are basically what you see on the tin. They are that schlocky bullshit.
Yeah, and so I was just watching a video last night about different RoboCop knockoffs, and they all have robot this, robot samurai, or robot this, or robot that, or robot, and they're all lampooning RoboCop in the title, but never in the actual message. They're all shite.
There is something that fascinates me, how when people make knockoffs, or sometimes they are trying to homage us a particular film, making fan works, fan fiction, whatever, and especially when it's coming from a place where someone is genuinely invested in the source material. But then they don't seem to understand what made it good in the first place. That
Zack Snyder
boggles my mind. Yeah, how can you claim to love this character and yet understand absolutely nothing about that character?
Well, there is always, to a certain degree, some surface level interpretations to a character. Like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll say it. Rorschach, on the very surface level, is technically a cool character if you just look at him as this hard-ass vigilante. But then you miss all the nuance that he's actually a really terrible person, and then you make your assumption based on the surface level. You're not working on what is hidden underneath.
Yeah, I don't know. Are some people just not... Oh, I mean, I guess my own mother only has the surface level reading of a thing. It's not about the commentary and the message underneath that image. It's just, but that's what they told me to think about this particular character, so I'm going with it.
I think people's comprehension skills in general are pretty poor.
Yeah.
Probably. That's why we do these movie-by-minute podcasts, explain these things to the nth degree.
Let's face it, a lot of media is popcorn media. It's just meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be dissected. There's no deeper meanings to all that stuff.
No, let me show you my Ayn Randian interpretation of Iron Man 2.
I'll see your Ayn Randian interpretation of Iron Man 2, and I'll just say Man of Steel.
Yes.
Iron Man.
Iron Randian Man.
Ayn Rand, yeah. How the fuck do you do it? It's in there. It's in there somewhere. We can do it.
That would be amazing. Ayn Rand builds a robot suit and just starts going after all her critics. I want to see that movie now. Oh, Zack Snyder, get on that. You want to make the Fountainhead. You've been wanting to make the Fountainhead for years. Do it.
He's basically, yeah. Just let him do it. He wants it.
And yes, make it part of the DCEU.
Yes, because, hey, we can't sink any lower at this point. I do wish we did more just absolutely fucking bonkers movies. Just go for
Yeah.
it. Like the Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover that they wanted to do for a little while there.
That should have happened.
Yes!
I did enjoy the latest Men in Black movie, but yeah, it's just, again,
That could have been 21 Jump Street as well.
that could have been so much more.
Could have been so much more, man.
I think it's one of those things where, like, the crazy stuff only now seems to be get done on, like, things like Netflix. You know, where they just go, we just gonna have this bonkers concept, and, like, I've brought this up in previous minutes, like, the old thing is, like, Hollywood are interested in either making $500 million movies or $5 million movies. They don't really care about...
I think it's just what the market is. That's the market.
Yeah.
You can take more risks on TV because you can create those niches. But you look at all the blockbusters and the sort of movies that made the most money and they tend to be things that are skewed towards children or young, all the like DreamWorks and stuff. And Pixar and everything, or the superheroes and things. That's why, you don't get a big budget RoboCop remake in 2014 that's a hard R. It's not going to find an audience. Or not the sort of audience that justifies the cost, is what I mean.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about things like Mr. Robot, Stranger Things. I mean, those do have their audiences and they are successful.
But they gain their audiences from obscurity, which is the point.
They would never have worked, I think, as a feature film quite the same way.
But it also has to be anything that makes a lot of money and costs a lot of money has to be broad. I mean, you can make fun of things like Avatar and how unmemorable it is and some of the cliches and things running through it, but it's a story that will work in any culture, any screen, and that's why movies like Garfield and stuff do well, because you can go into countries where somebody doesn't speak English and they can still get something out of the movie.
Yeah. I support and I love my popcorn movies. I will love trash. I have no issues with that. I just said, my thing is sometimes like, I miss that era, like, the 80s was an era where they were just experimenting with new things. Like,
80s movies are the best movies.
But it's not them not necessarily, like, wanting to do it.
No.
It's the fact that, especially now, the market is so loud and obnoxious about everything.
Yeah.
Like, look at the idea of, go to Ghostbusters. They do a female one with all these Saturday Night Live comedians who this time happen to be female. Good director, good writers in there, and everybody complains. And so now we're getting a trailer for a Ghostbusters movie which looks like it doesn't have any jokes in it and has kids in it. And is like a coming of age drama or something? Like, I just don't understand.
Well, let's go back to the original Ghostbusters trailer. There was no jokes in the original trailer. It was promoted as a horror film.
Oh, I have not seen that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, they cut out almost all the humor from the original Ghostbusters trailer.
But nobody knew how to make trailers until Phantom Menace is the, like, beginning of the modern trailer.
I would argue that people still don't know how to make trailers. No, I do agree with that. It's also the fact that I miss that there is no... Here's the other thing about franchises, is that it's easier to market an existing franchise than it is to market a brand new franchise. I mean, you gotta remember, the MCU is just over a decade old, and Iron Man was at the time considered to be a thing that nobody wanted. Comic book people were going, why are you doing an Iron Man movie? It's Iron Man. No one gives a shit about Iron Man.
No, exactly.
And that's almost the downfall of Marvel. Marvel itself doesn't rely on these characters to sell it. They rely on the fact that it's an MCU to sell their movies. So they introduce new characters, but it's an easy sell because nobody gives a shit necessarily about, like, the character. They just give a shit more about that it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I'm quite impressed with what they've done in the sense that they have taken... I mean, I think you agree, Iron Man wasn't a household name for a lot of people until the movies. And then the fact that they take a gamble and go, we're going to do Guardians of the Galaxy, and then give that such a unique vision, and people had no idea what that was, and the idea that Iron Man was suddenly going to exist in this same thing as a space raccoon, but they made it all work, and then they made people give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in 2014 when Guardians came out, I even said, like, if they can sell a space raccoon and a talking tree, they can practically do anything. And even in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we might finally get a Doctor Strange movie. We might get some of these weird esoteric Marvel characters.
And look at the fact that they've able to give us a place where Spider-Man feels like a realistic high schooler. I mean, I'm saying realistic with grain of salt, but you know what I mean. I mean, like, he lives in it. We go, okay, he's a high schooler, he lives with his aunt, and etc., etc. But at the same time, he's also on a Pegasus in space. So, yeah, great. You got the cake, and you're eating it, and there'll be another 10 cakes coming.
Yeah. Well, not this year. I must admit, as much as I really I'm missing, like, being able to watch like Black Widow and that, I'm kind of glad for the break as well.
But you can have a break whenever you want anyway. Like, no one's forcing anybody to do stuff.
No, if it's there, we gotta consume it. No, if it's there, you gotta do it.
The break gave us the opportunity to watch New Mutants, and I appreciate for that.
It's pretty good.
I enjoyed that movie.
I liked it as well, yeah.
People were shitting on that movie. I'm like, okay, I was skeptical because I knew some of the background stuff, and then it's just like, wow, this movie's really solid. I don't know why people are complaining about it.
Yeah, it came together a lot better than given all the reshoots and the development help.
And Anya Taylor-Joy is just a joy.
Oh, perfect as magic.
Oh, the entire cast are cool.
I think her performance was magical.
So, we're getting off on tangents. Should we wrap it up with fucking Robocop 2014?
Oh no, insert the drop here.
Yeah.
Alex, how do you feel?
I feel fine, Dr. Norton.
I didn't even watch this minute, so go for it.
Well, you didn't watch the other 2 minutes, so it's exactly the same as the other 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
It's
so,
beige.
yeah, Murphy's just like, what you say? And ends with, oh, we're about to close the deal when someone tipped him off. And yeah, it's just, this is very much every cliche, cheesy, criminal underworld scene.
Yeah.
And it's just, so far this whole movie has been kind of condescending. Like, it really does feel like it's aimed at kids. Like, this is what bad guys do. And it's...
So my one-line note is Murphy continuing being a really terrible cop. That's pretty much the movie.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is, like, this is a guy who is breaking all the rules, isn't acting ethically, he's reckless, and for the original Murphy, we didn't really know what he was like as a cop, but yeah, I'm wondering, are they trying to make this contrast of he was kind of reckless, he was kind of on edge, and now they're going to control him, and he's just going to be this perfect machine?
Except the movie doesn't do that.
I know, they set things up, but then they just forget about it and move on to the next thing.
Do you think that, because we didn't know about Murphy, do you think that he used to go around calling people creep? Or that they programmed that in?
Good
that
question.
technically was the moment when he was still in full OCP mode.
So I guess that, boardroom just like, here's some phrases that we've worked out. I don't know, take your pick.
Yeah,
Cretin.
He did repeat the dead or alive, you're coming with me part, but that feels copish.
That's cowboyish.
That's very John Wayne, yeah.
Maybe the creep line was from TJ Laser. That was a thing TJ Laser used to say a lot.
Yeah.
The spinning line, the spinning gun goes, your move, creep.
Yeah, there you go.
I should legally change my name to TJ Laser.
I forgot about TJ Laser.
Yeah.
God, where's the TJ Laser movie? Jesus, come on.
Yeah, guys, get on it.
It was starring TJ Hooker. How's that for a Star Trek cut? Yes, I got one in there!
Well, shit. That's exactly what I was hoping to spare you from.
Except it's William Shatner.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, I'm very young. It took me a minute.
Oh, TJ Hooker with William Shatner. It's probably not held up very well.
So it's like the real estate company? I don't know.
LJ Hooker.
Yep, there we go.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Oh god, I forgot about that fucking advert.
Yeah, deep cut and very local. Just per things.
Yeah, quick tangent. Looking up 80s local adverts on YouTube, Australian adverts especially.
Yes, we were doing that. Oh,
So much fun.
so
So
good.
cringe.
I'm related to half the fucking people in these 80s Perth commercials. It's so weird.
So, just going quickly back to the RoboCop remake, I remember thinking back in when I was watching this originally, I was like, oh my god, this feels like the scene in Batman Begins when Bruce Wayne confronts the mob boss. You know, even cinematically, you got the lighting looks the same.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God, rewatching this and going, oh yeah, I forgot they did that. I wonder if they were just like, we're inspired by Nolan and we're gonna add this mood lighting.
Oh, this is definitely Batman Begins inspired. There's a bit of, a bit of that DNA, especially in the costume.
Oh yeah, that's probably that's why they went for black rubber.
I actually do like this RoboCop costume when it's silver. I mean, we'll get into that in those minutes, but
No, I agree.
yeah.
You can enjoy talking about that in about 10 months.
By 10 months, be like, why are we still talking about this movie?
It takes so freaking long for them to just get to fucking RoboCop.
Yeah, it's quite a while away.
I feel like they should have enhanced that with CGI. So they actually did all of that practically, but I would have loved to see, make his waist impossibly narrow or just build out his body in a way that just a human being in a costume could never look like that. And that's the biggest problem, is it looks like a human being in a costume. It's a cool costume, but it looks like...
Add some panels with some pistons or something, like add some mechanical like overlay just to give it a bit of depth.
Yeah, like in Ex Machina. Not Deus Ex, we haven't mentioned Deus Ex in a few episodes, but Ex Machina.
I'm putting that drop in anyway.
I never asked for this.
I like the cyborg designs in Alita Battle Angel. There's some really interesting stuff.
Exactly like that, yeah.
And Jackie Earl Haley as well. Speaking of Rorschach, yeah.
Oh, he is an absolute monster in that.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
I just have to write in my little black book that I give it
name?
to Breitbart at the end of the movie.
He was Ajax in Deadpool, but that guy...
It's
Skrine. Skrillex, yeah, it's Skrine. Yeah, it's Skrine in Alita. That design, oh my god, that looks amazing. It looks impossible in terms of there are bits cut out.
Another movie that before it came out people were shitting on like crazy, and then as soon as it came out everyone just went, wow, this is really good.
Love it so much. I hope all the best for it. Hope it gets sequels and all that.
I thought the sequel there got greenlit. I could be mistaken.
I think so. I don't know. COVID, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, what year was Battle Angel released?
2018?
Yeah, so it must have been
A
like...
couple of years ago.
Yeah, about a decade ago in COVID time. So
Yeah.
But it took forever to get off the ground.
Yeah, it took a long time. Oh god, I remember watching the original the original anime. God, that was a long time ago, and I really enjoyed that. So I do need to get around to watching the live action.
Oh yeah, get on it.
It's good. It's good stuff. I love it.
Well, I think that about covers it, unless anyone has any notes, any commentaries, any novelization stuff.
No. Novelization, no, we pretty much covered it. So it's only like 2 pages of this entire scene, and...
Disappointing.
Yeah,
We should have a drop where, what's his name, Hercules, is like, disappointed! We need to put that in our show.
Oh, I forgot to do the commentary. There's a bit in the commentary I forgot to talk about.
Oh, well, there we go.
Oh, this is very unorthodox.
I know. I might just cut it and put it in earlier. Except I'm that lazy. No. Paul Verhoeven actually credits his wife for making him go back. His wife Martine, I should say. Let's get the name correct right here. Who forced him to read the script and told him that he was a freaking idiot. His words is, "I was a freaking idiot," and not seeing what was hidden underneath the surface. So yeah, again, we can credit to Paul Verhoeven's wife Martine Verhoeven for actually getting this mad Dutch director on board to make this absolute masterpiece of a movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's very picky in what he chooses. And this was no Showgirls.
He's very choosy about what he picks.
No, Luke, you need to go back and listen to the All New Minute where I talk about all the Paul Verhoeven nudity in his films.
All of it, every single one.
Who are you, Mr. Skin?
No, I actually use AZ Nude instead.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm not joking.
Can't believe we have gotten through all 3 minutes so quickly. So
thank you very much,
thanks
Luke.
for that, Luke.
Yeah.
And where can we find you?
Yeah, me. Go to dungeonsanddrongos.com and listen to my bloody Australian podcast, mate. It's at Dungeons and Dragons Fantasy Australia. It's really grass, eh?
Yeah.
It's other Australian things that I can't think of because I'm still too British. It's top notch, mate. Good day, bingo.
I think
things.
It's Bonza.
Bonza, that's it.
so there was my favorite ones. I still love the Pie Mines. Pie Mines is a great classic original. I think that was like the original story.
Episode 1, easy pick for a favorite if you've listened to one episode.
Yeah, what's that really episode? Wow. And the other one was, I think it was, oh shit, was it Pennywise? Yeah. So there's a.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was last year's Halloween special.
Yes, Pennywise is
horse shit about the pony clown that was flushed down the toilet after being killed by fat kids at a birthday party.
I think my favorite character was I think that kid's mum, who was just always serving food, and it was just...
Yeah, and Pennywise haunted the town.
It was that's one of my favorites too. So yeah, maybe start at the beginning with the Pie Mines, or maybe jump ahead to the Halloween special.
By the time you've listened to this, well over 140, maybe 150 episodes.
Yeah, there'll be a few.
Yeah,
we've done 140 odd. So yeah.
How long's it been going for?
Well, we just did our 4th Halloween special, so...
Okay, so because I've been doing Prometheus by Minute for 3 years now, almost, as of January will be 3 years, and I've done 118 episodes, so that's in total is 108. Yeah, so, okay.
So where can we find you, Connor?
You can find me on traviandesigns.com, Travan. And actually, I forgot to mention the Alien Prequels Facebook page, so you can head on over there, patreon.com/traviandesigns. And, forgot to promote Animatronic, which should probably be up soon-ish, where myself and Duncan Shields, he did the, chronologically speaking, the Tron Movies by Minute podcast, we're reviewing Tron Uprising, and it's really great.
You can find me at Fanboy Crossing. Just Googles the YouTubes and all the Bings and Ask Jeeves for Fanboy Crossing. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Alta Vista. I'm on NetSpider.
Angel Fire,
GeoCities.
Is LiveJournal still around?
I know Justice shut down a few years ago. But yeah, I also do Kung Pao Enter the Minute, where I do a minute-by-minute review of Kung Pao Enter the Fist and ramble on endlessly and occasionally get people on there to keep my sanity in check. Please like, share, subscribe to this thing. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google, we're on Spotify. We have also a YouTube channel where I've got a staggering amount of views for the all-new episode and a downvote because I think people are expecting tits on YouTube. So until next time, would you like to lead us out?
Robocock.
That was one hell of a pause.